We don't
Hey,
go.
you're
Oh,
looking good. And whatever
oh,
that spot is gone.
What
yeah,
spot? Oh yeah.
yeah. Okay, we need a sound check here.
Checkmate King 2. This is White Rick over.
We got you, White Wreck. We over. Sound check complete, and welcome to the DroneNation Labor Day special here, pre-recorded, of course, as we'll all be in front of the barbecues and swimming pools and everything on Monday. But so we're here with the special edition. We're gonna call this the kind of the things you can maybe look for in September. These are all rumors. Nothing that we're telling you is definitely coming. Well, the iPhone stuff probably is. But stuff, so this is all rumor mill here. So this is kind of a fun show here. Now, you guys, I want these. We always jabber before we start the show here, and they were having a good conversation about weight chargers, and especially like 45, 65-watt chargers for your drones. Go complete that thought process.
Well, I was just we were just talking about how there's so many, not just drone companies now. I mean, DJI never includes a charge brick anymore, nor does Apple with any of their products. So I felt like it was time. I've got some quick chargers.
Can I cut you off for a second? Did the Avata not come with a charge brick?
I don't know if the Avata does.
I don't know if it did or
I'm not sure either, Ron.
I think it came with a charger,
I haven't watched
not a
50
charger
unboxing
brick.
videos yet.
Yeah.
Well, so a while back, DeMarco and I both bought this little guy right here, and I can't remember what this was, DeMarco. I think a 20-watt or 25-watt, something like that.
It's a the red one is a 30-watt.
30-watt.
Yeah, 30.
And we got like 3 of them for, I mean, it was cheap on Amazon. And it works fine, and I've been using that. However, I felt like it was time to invest in a high quality one, so I got a 60. I think this is 66-watt, an Anchor, and it's got 2 USB-C ports and a USB-A port, and of course they're all smart. They'll figure out what your device needs and only give it that amount of power. I just felt like it was time to invest in a good one. And DeMarco, you have one that you like as well, correct?
Yeah, in fact, this one I got off Amazon too. Though it's for the Mini. Excuse me, the Mini 3. It's a 45-watt charger. I love it.
USB-C to USB-C.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And I have a Alki here. They're a popular brand. You'll find them a lot of. I think you can see here. But I got this for the when I got the iPhone. The first iPhone, it didn't come with the charger, I guess. And it has a PD port. I don't know what that PD stands for. The little one. I think that's 65-watt.
Yeah, I think PD stands for power. Anyway, it's a smart port, Ron, is what they mean by that.
Yeah.
It'll adjust to whatever your device is. In other words, it won't feed too much power to something.
It won't overcharge the device.
It won't overcharge any or over voltage. It will give just whatever the device is, and the charger talk to each other, and it gives the right amount of power.
And it has a standard you can't say it's too dark. USB-C on here, just your standard USB-C. Yeah. And then the PD, and I know I've charged the Mini 3 up with this, and it charges. And when I'm saying the Mini 3, I mean the Mini 3. What do you call it? The charging hub? And it charges the batteries up just as quick as using the Mavic 3 charger, which I was using initially.
Which makes sense. Now that looks like it has a USB-A and a USB-C. Ron, is what it looks like.
Well, it has exactly. The PD. The PD is the USB-C and then the USB.
The thing is, I don't have a lot of USB-C cords at all. I've got like 2. They're all USB-C.
Wow.
USB-A.
Speaking of which, so I bought a one of those USB-A cables that
with the 3,
morphs into 3, so you can charge. Listen, we're all faced with this, right? You're charging a controller, you're charging a drone battery, you're charging a camera all at the same time. So anyway, that was my thought.
I have a ton of cables, but I get them all confused. So when I go to sell something, I can never find the cable for the device because I have it all mixed in with all the other cables.
Ron, I know exactly what you're saying, and some are data cables and some are just power cables. Sometimes I'll actually mark them. I'll put a little label on them so that I can know whether, especially if it's just a data cable, because then it doesn't work for charging. Anyway, on and on. Yeah. But I did want to mention that Anchor does have a sale going on right now. So
Oh,
And
do they?
Marcus,
Okay.
before we get going, would you also mention the sale you just saw on where was it? Drone
Drone DJ,
DJ.
yeah. So Drone DJ is reporting that Adorama has the original DJI Mavic Mini combo, or the Flymore combo, I should say. So with 3 batteries, the whole shooting match for $399, which is a great deal. But there's more to it than that. They're also including, I'm looking it up here. Landing gear, PJY Tech landing gear extensions, and a DJI propeller holder. And that propeller holder, I guess, I would say is especially important on the original Mavic Mini,
That's the
because
one where the case messed up the propellers.
you could those propeller blades can get warped, and then you have unintended descent, uncommanded descent. And I had that happen to me, so it's nothing to joke around about.
Maybe you could, maybe you're a little, I can't spit out here, Autel Nano Plus that won't land. Maybe you can bend the propellers a little bit in that, and maybe that'll come down better.
Hey, I do have a little news there, and I think we might have talked about it the other day. But however, I did hear from Ken Booth again at Autel, and he was upset that Autel hadn't got back to me yet, and so he was going to work on it. So yeah, I don't know what else. That's as far as I can say there, but we'll see if we ever get resolution on that.
The saga continues.
The saga continues. Yeah.
Now before we're going to dive into the all the drone rumors here, but one thing is not a rumor. I believe it's maybe next week. It's soon. Autel's having a big show someplace, and it may not be their show. Maybe they're just at some kind of a drone show, but they're going to announce version 3s of all their Evo 2s, like the Evo 2 Pro, Evo 2 Enterprise. All the Evo 2s are going to be a version 3. Now, I don't know what this really means, because version 1 to version 2, all they did was replace chips in it that they couldn't get anymore.
It was a chipset, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if this is the same thing where we're just getting new chips, or it's going to add some, when I say features, I mean real features, not some,
smart controller, maybe.
Well, they've already had a patent. They found in FCC patents. They put patents in for 3 smart controllers. One of them is just a V3 of the current smart controller, but there was also patents on 2 other smart controllers too. So maybe they'll be able to show. I would say maybe there's no.
Yeah, they mostly were talking about the Evo 2 version 3, all the stuff that I saw, Ron. And I'm with you. It'd be interesting to know, is it just a new chipset or what is it? Now, with regard to those smart controllers, or when we say smart controller, we're talking about an all-in-one controller with the
screen,
with an FPV screen.
I mean, it's because smart controllers can cover the gauntlet, like of course the RC Pro controllers, much more of a smart controller. It's the Pro smart controller, where the one for the Mini 3 is just kind of a dumbed down version. But
it's just a screen.
But listen, any controller with a screen is worth the money.
Yeah. So exactly. So that was my point that I was going to make, is that Autel just had that big sale on the Lite, and it was pretty good. I mean, you could buy the Lite plus the whole package for like, I don't know, it was about right around $1,400.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm telling you, my finger was itching on that order button. However, I started thinking about, what? It's just a regular controller, and I'm going to have to use the iPhone on it, and it's going to dim, and I won't be able to fly the thing in the heat of the summertime. So I didn't pull the trigger. So they need that all-in-one controller option
for their budget price drones, and not just their most expensive Evo 2 Pro.
Now, Marcus, they've always had a controller with a screen in it, but it wasn't something that you wanted to use on a daily basis.
It's not going to break funny day.
I mean, so they can do it.
Yeah. And that little screen, it's not that good, but I mean, I've accidentally forgot. What did I? Like I got out
Yeah,
there and forgot like the cable I needed or whatever. Couldn't use my phone, so I have flown with that little screen
I
because
have too.
I forgot the cabling I needed for my phone.
Yeah, no, same thing happened here. I forgot the cable, excuse me, or my phone got hot. Yeah, same thing happened here. So,
Yeah,
but it's like this. So
yeah.
you're
And you
looking
can't
at it.
see. It's hard to change your settings on now. You can use the buttons on the controller to change like
Hmm.
kind of camera settings, but it's tough. But if you have to just go up and get a picture or whatever, quick video, whatever, it'll work at a pinch. But it's
It
not
was good for the time, but we just moved past that.
way
Yeah.
past. Yeah,
Yeah, the point being is that Ron, I think you nailed it. You've been saying it now for the last several months that that's the future, isn't it? That
Yeah.
even on the lower price, well, I'm going to call them second tier, like
yeah.
Hubsan and Femi and so forth.
They're even
Femi's
just
already
yeah.
Femi's already come out with a smart with a
Pops got one on the way. Yeah,
and rumor is that Hubsan does too. And I think it's something that has to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
anyway,
well,
that's
hold
our.
on.
Go
I'm
ahead. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Like, you're talking about buying some, Marcus. I bought something that you will actually like. Here, it's sitting right here.
It's actually released. You can show it.
Oh, hey, listen, DeMarco, if you bought it, I know I'm going to like it.
I bought 4 of them.
4 of them.
One for Ron, one for me, one for
New
you.
tires for my Honda lawnmower.
There you go. You got to
Nice.
have that traction, man.
I like the tread.
It's important. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lawnmower Nation.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The
Links
box
down.
came and I was like,
Our this show is sponsored by Honda.
Yeah.
So
all right.
let's dive into our hottest, juiciest rumor right away here.
Okay.
At Deals Drones on Twitter a couple days ago broke. He said there will be a Mini 3. Did he call it Classic or SE?
Maybe I thought it was.
I think he said SC, but I don't remember. Maybe he said Classic. I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyhow, a DJI Mini 3 without obstacle avoidance on it. So that gives them the chance to lower the price and make the Mini 3 a little bit more price competitive. Because as of today, if you order the Mini 3 with the standard controller, not the one with the screen, the standard controller, it'd be $759, which puts it $300 above the Mini 2.
Mini 2.
So it was quite a price jump. So this could give them the chance to bring the price down. And Marcus and I talked off screen, and Marcus mentioned that this will removing the obstacle avoidance will probably mean removing the tracking features, right?
I suspect because DJI has never included tracking on any drone that didn't have obstacle avoidance. Now, Ron, I think you and I discussed this earlier, but I think we should put DeMarco on the spot. DeMarco, so a Mini 3 SE without those features, without obstacle avoidance, without tracking, just the single battery standard RC, the RCN1 controller, what do you think would be a reasonable price point?
Well, if the Mini 2 is going for how much? $479?
$449.
I was close.
Yeah.
I would say with this upgraded frame and a better camera, I would if I was in marketing, I would market that at around $549. I would.
Ooh, well,
I would.
good.
And I would get rid of the Mini 2. I would let them go.
Yeah, they're not missing a trick. I'm with you, DeMarco.
I would keep the Mini SE 300 and then about $549. Now that I think about it.
Let me run this one by you, DeMarco. So I like your price point. I think $550 for that drone in that configuration would probably be a runaway hit.
But I feel it'll be more like $599. But I like DeMarco's price.
I like DeMarco's price, and I think it would be a runaway hit. Now, if we're talking about the Mini SE, DeMarco, and you just made a great point that hey, maybe the Mini 2 would go away. What if the new Mini SE had the 4K, the Mini 2's 4K camera on it, and was say instead of $299, $349 or $329?
Yeah. That sounds good. I would say this, Bo. I mean, if we were all sitting in a meeting room talking about this, I would want to know what the market would be for someone who's willing to pay 350 compared to 299.
That's a great
And
point.
and would they be looking for that camera? The reason why I said that is for me, like when I brought my brother that mini SE, he was coming from, a Kmart, excuse me, a Walmart drone.
Yeah.
I mean, so that mini SE camera, like he was blown away by it.
Yeah.
Right.
He was coming from no K.
Yes, he was. So 299 was a lot, but like you're getting a lot. What would an extra
Yeah,
50
Yeah,
bucks
the
for
Marcus
the
got a great point from a
4K
marketing
camera
standpoint. That
do for
299
somebody
price
like
point
him?
means a lot.
that 299 price point is something. So
Yeah.
I've always heard that camera on the original Mavic Mini and the Mini SE is essentially the same camera as is on the Mini 2. However, it's simply software that allows it to shoot in 4K.
Yeah.
So could DJI make it a 4K camera and keep that price point at $299, which I think, to your point, would be huge. And again, it would be a runaway hit.
Yeah, with that, if it's only software, I would do that. And then too, like we were just talking about, like we had to move on from products. Why not move on from is it what 2.7 or 1080 the mini
2.7 on the
SE?
SE. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not just move on from that? I mean, so now like all their products have 4K
4K
ability.
capability.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's a good point.
Yeah. Especially if it's the same hardware too.
Yeah.
Especially.
What's funny about that SE though is, I mean, I was just telling Ron about this earlier today. I love that little drone for a couple of reasons. A, because it's not so expensive, I don't know, it's just more comfortable to fly it, number one. Number two, the form factor that smaller remote is so much easier to carry around. I like the RCN1 controller, but there is something to be said for that smaller remote. It's more compact, it's easier to carry around. And I will put that 2.7K video that comes off of that drone and the original Mavic Mini against so many other drones 4K video. It looks that good.
Yeah, and even Marcus, like I mean, $299, that's a lot of money. I mean, for a toy. Now like we've all moved on from drones like that though. For someone who is just starting out, that's a lot of money. But you are getting a lot too.
Here's what I'll say about that is that I would say that Mini SE is for the casual drone user, not necessarily a hobbyist like us. You're a hunter and you want to go out and take pictures and look around.
Yeah.
You have an RV and you camp and you just want to occasionally throw a drone up and get a picture of your campsite.
Yeah.
You're whatever kind of you're a surfer and you want to throw a drone up to take pictures of your buddies surfing, but it's not your main hobby. It's just like you and I would buy a little digital.
It's your drone and your only drone, and probably the only drone you're going to have for a couple of years. Yeah,
that's where I think that that is one of the niches for that market.
Yeah.
Well, let me get the train back on tracks again. We've gone into a nice discussion about the Mini SE, but we're here to talk about actually the Mini 3 SE or whatever. Yeah. Now, at the price, let me add this real fast. At Deals Drone said this is coming in September. So at the price point of either $549 or $599, how do you think this will sell for DJI?
Oh man, Marcus,
$549. They won't be able to keep them in stock.
No,
I mean,
that is a hit. But what thing about it? If someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm buying a drone. All right, what's your budget? $600. Get that Mini 3. Get it.
You think there's a lot? You think there's been a lot of people sitting on the fence with Mini 2s that are hesitant to upgrade because of the extra $300 and so on? Do you think at this new price point will get those people off the fence and they will upgrade?
At that price point, I would. The more that you go up, $50 will make a difference. But at $549, I think it would. Now, if it was a $1,049 or a what
$899.
$1,099, that might not make a difference though. But $549 for me, yeah, I would. I get
And
it.
let's not forget everything that Mini 3 brings to the table above the Mini 2. It brings a lot more feature set. Even if it didn't have tracking, it brings master shots to the table. It brings the waypoint, hyperlapse, all the waypoint things that it'll do. It has more functionality with regard to panorama pictures. It has that camera that can shoot vertical video. Did I mention master shots already? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
better low light capabilities,
better low light performance. Yeah. So there's a lot more that it brings.
And how many people we know? Tons of people that say, "Well, I don't even use obstacle avoidance. Don't like it." A lot of people don't turn it off. So
I love it, but
Ron, what about you? Price. Man.
No, I said $599. The Marcus, you're the one who hadn't said a praise.
Yeah,
Marcus, you're the one that hasn't quoted a praise yet.
Yeah, well, I guess DeMarco's going to be out here for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Ron, I'll do this. I'll tell you where I would want to see it, and I bet you DJI could do it. $499. I bet they could. I'll bet you they could. If they can do $299 on the Mini SE, and that was a drone. Really, let's face it. What's the difference between the Mini SE and the original Mavic Mini that they were selling for $200 more? So if they can sell that thing for $499, that thing would be. It would be.
How much do they want to hurt their market? You know, they're selling this for $250 less than their standard Mini 3. How much do they want to give up at their market share at that higher end?
I don't think they would, and I'll tell you why. Because people that want obstacle avoidance, like me,
and tracking,
because that tracking is a big deal to a lot of people. They'd probably pay up for it.
Yeah,
and I guess listen, Harold, let me add this. You're probably right. They might be people that would buy the more expensive one that bought the cheaper one, but they would also more than make up for that by capturing those folks that just wouldn't have bought a drone or would have bought, something else.
It would have just stayed with the Mini 2 and not upgraded.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. So. But then like you have to watch out because like you don't want to. Okay, if it's $749 for the Mini 3 Pro, like you don't want to make it too close to that number because then people will say, "Well, why then? Why would I just put just another $100 with it?" Then that's why I would keep it low enough to actually make it worthwhile for someone. Yeah,
good.
All of that said, whatever the price point happens to be, what I'm saying is good on DJI. The more that they do to make these, to cover every niche and make these drones more affordable and more available to people, boom, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this months ago when we realized the price of Mini 3 was going to be kind of high. We keep saying it's $900 some because all of us were with the better this control with the screen. But so it was a little bit of a price shock, especially a lot of people that only owned the Mini 2, and the main reason they bought the Mini 2 was because of the price point. So this is going to kind of help bring all that back in line again, get those people back on board again, make them happy. So I think this is a win-win if they do release this, and if they release it in September, that's even better because it'll be very available for the holiday season when it would be more of a giftable item than the more expensive version.
And
would you name it the Mini 3? Mini 3 SE? Or, what would you name it then?
I'm trying to remember. Ron and I were just trying to remember what they said, whether they said Mini 3 Classic or Mini 3 SE. I don't remember.
And by Dave, we don't mean DJI. We mean Ideal's drones. So,
I thought the Classic they were talking about was the Mavic 3.
Well,
it's a Maverick 3
let's
Classic.
segue right into that because
Oh,
we're already burned a lot of time.
Hey,
Also,
one more point I want to make before we get off of the minis
okay.
is that I want to agree with DeMarco in that if they do this, the Mini 2 is probably at end of life.
Oh
yeah.
boy.
I mean, yeah. Why
Oh
would you
boy.
even have that then? Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't fit anymore. Okay, DeMarco brought up the Mavic 3 Classic. I mean, we got a Mavic 3 Classic supposedly coming without the zoom. We supposedly got a Mavic 3 Enterprise coming with actually 3 different cameras on the the camera on the gimbal. And that's the only version anyhow. So it's a lot of Mavic 3 stuff coming. Now let's jump right into this Mavic 3 Classic. I think they call that the Classic. What they've done is they've eliminated the zoom camera, and hopefully that drops the price. And Marcus and I talked about possible price earlier. Marcus, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so Ron and I think both we came to the conclusion that it'd have to be right around $1,500 to have that big of an impact, and so I think that's probably where their sweet spot would be for that drone. And again, more power to them. They're covering every niche of that of the prices. So, yeah.
DeMarco, would you have any interest in a Mavic 3 Classic without the zoom lens at a significant price drop? Okay, right now, people keep saying it's $3,000. The Mavic 3 was never a $3,000 drone. It was priced at, I think, with $2,199, and more recently, you see it on sale for like $2,050. So bring it down to about the $1,500 price point would be right now about a $550 price drop and a $700 price drop off the release price of it.
For me, I would want that zoom. Yeah.
Same way. If I had the choice at last November was released, I'd still got the Zoom.
Really?
No, I still bought the Zoom version. I wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I would want the zoom. I mean, but I see how it could be. I'm a step up from people coming from the Mavic 2 who still have those without the zoom though.
Because
I mean,
they get the
I'm
4/3. They
that
get
zoom.
the 4/3 camera. Yeah.
So, DeMarco, do you think it would have to be even lower than $1,500 for people to buy it, like $1,200 or something? Of course, then they're putting it in Air 2S territory.
Yeah, I would say I would go in that $1,499, $1,399 range. Probably $1,499. I would.
I think if they release a $1,499 Mavic 3 Classic or whatever, without the camera, but all the other goodies in place, I think that'll sell as many units as the one with the zoom.
Yeah, I mean, because if you price that just right, it will sell. It's going to sell. I mean, but if you price it too much, people are like, I mean, why not get the other one then?
I can't remember, Marco. Do you have a Mavic 3?
No.
So one of the things that Ron and I have talked about a million times is that, you look at the features of like the Mini 3 Pro or even the Air 2S, etc., and you go, okay, well, why do I need a Mavic 3? Well, you know what? Once you fly one, why you need it, because it's that much faster and the controls are just butter smooth and it's more precise.
Especially for a larger drone. It flies really well for a larger drone.
It's almost telepathic the way you fly it. I want it over there. Boom, it's there. And
you know how everybody comes on all these shows that range. They talk about range. They talk about battery life. They talk about performance of the wind. Well, this has it all. This has everything covered.
What is the flight time on it?
I'm going to say you get close to 35 minutes.
I get well over 30 minutes when I'm flying it. It's as long as I want to fly, typically.
I mean, if you flew in a real heavy wind and you had in sport mode the whole flight, you may chop it down. But in normal flight conditions, you can get 35 in. But it's almost as good as the Mini 3 Plus battery. The Mini 3 Plus battery is probably a few minutes better. Is that what you think, Marcus?
I agree.
Yeah.
Here's what I say. So if they're coming out with a downgraded Mavic 3 and it's getting time that the Air 3 might be coming, I mean, like, would you market that about the same price? Both of them.
Is there an Air 3? Is there an Air 3 coming? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing.
No, I'm with you. No,
DeMarco makes a great point there. What when the Air 3 comes, where do you put it in there? Because you can't price it at $1,500 then, because people say, "Well,
Yeah.
I like the Mavic 3 then."
That's my point, Ron. The point that I'm trying to make is maybe the Mavic 3 Classic is the Air 3.
Yeah. The Air
Oh,
2S is the last Air.
good
Yeah.
one.
They don't yeah, and Marcus, they don't really need it anymore because the Mini 3 Pro is so good, it sort of kind of replaces it, and they could slot in a 50.
Right.
If you really need kind of a professional drone, or even a Mavic 3 without the zoom lens still fits almost all the checks on your list.
And Ron, I am spoiled now. I love my Air 2S, and when I get up and fly it, and I'm going, wow, why haven't I flown this in a while? I really like it. I love the video quality. It's got all those DJI features that we know and love. However, the one thing that always bites me when I'm flying it is, oh, geez, I'm out of battery. I need to bring it back. It is a battery hog. I mean, there's often you get less than 20 minutes out of a battery. And when you're used to flying the Mavic 3 and the Mini 3, you really notice it.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, here, I'm going to say this. Yes, the battery life is so much better on the Mavic 3. Not the only thing, but the main thing, in my opinion, that the Air 2S gives you that the Mavic 3 doesn't, and the Mini 3 Pro doesn't, but be that size right in the middle. It's better in the wind. It's not huge like big like the Mavic 3, and it's not small like the Mini. That's why
the carrying case is nice and compact. It's no bigger than the Mini carrying case. Yeah.
Same. But of course, even though the Air 2S is smaller, you don't really gain any technical advantage because it's not under 250 gram drone, so you still have to follow all the regulations, even if travel whatever of the Mavic 3. So you gain a little bit smaller of a form factor, but you don't really get as far as ability and things, you don't gain anything because it's still over 250 grams.
Well, I'm going to sing some praises though for with regard to if you're used to just flying a mini drone, and you move up to a drone like the Air 2S because of price point, right? Because you don't want to spend a little over $2,000 for a Mavic 3. You could pick that thing up. I think the Fly More kit and everything, Ron, about $1,200. Am I right? Somewhere around there.
It's on sale all the time. You could probably get that on sale. Yeah, I think it's been a tad lower. It's been a tad more, but you just wait. You can get good deals on that right now.
The difference in power of that drone as opposed to a mini drone is phenomenal. I flew it out when not this summer before, we were on vacation and we were out on the Columbia River. It was the wind was blowing a gale. I was getting wind warnings with the drone, but you would never have known it the way the drone was flying. I mean, it was cutting through the wind and going wherever I wanted to go. I never had any anxiety about getting the thing back. I mean,
listen, it was of consumer drones, it was the wind fighting champion until the Mavic 3 came out.
Until the Mavic 3.
And still, it's a close second.
Exactly right. That's a good way to describe it, Ron.
So, but that's an interesting point. Where if an Air 3 comes out, where does it fall in with its pricing and whatever? But we'll see. They can come up with something. But okay, keep us rolling here.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, the Mavic 3 Enterprise. I mean, we knew it was coming because they discontinued the Mavic 2 Enterprise drone, so it's coming. That 3-camera setup where I guess they have a what do you call it, a
thermal.
The camera can see the dark and all that.
Yeah, thermal camera, infrared.
Yeah. So, and that'll be, we don't really cover enterprise stuff. Of course, that'll be great. They'll be expensive, but I'll fill a niche of a lot of people who want an affordable enterprise. They don't want to buy a Matrice or something in that, like that $10,000 or more. But this may fill a lot of people's needs.
If I had a pest control business, I might buy one of those so I could see the hot spots where the mosquitoes were at.
Yeah, and you could write off. You can write off as a business expense.
Yeah,
that's a good one, actually. That's
you can talk to your accountant about that. Yeah. So, but anyhow,
maybe next year.
And I don't really have a date. I on the Enterprise outside, people say in the fall. I don't have a date, and the Mavic 3 Classic, I don't have a date either. Fall outside of that, but Mini 3. They're definitely saying September. Now, off of drones here for a second. this Tuesday, which I believe is the 7th of September, it's the big day. It's Apple Event Day, and there are rumors of new iPhones coming out, and of course, an Apple Watch 8. But some people are saying the iPhone's going to have a 48 megapixel camera on it, and right now we have a 12 megapixels. So, is that a reason to upgrade?
Ron, let me ask you. So I read that too, and the first thing I thought of, and I'll bet you thought of the same thing, is it a quad bear sensor?
Yeah, is it really 48, or is it just like our drones
Right.
that it's just moving pixels around,
Right.
shifting pixels, and so on? And Tim Cook will let us know in a couple of days.
Yeah. But you know that, so just as you've described in the past, Ron, I heard a bunch of the pundits talking about, well, you know, upgrade your smartphone. They're so good now. Do you have to upgrade every year, or what? You know, what are they going to bring to the table that'll just drive you? Besides techies, you know, tech heads like us, that we always want the latest and greatest, which is probably a good point. But just like DJI, Apple always surprises us, and they could throw something in there that everybody just goes, "Oh yeah, I need that.
Gotta get that. Yeah, gotta upgrade.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I can sure see how they
And
can do it.
I'll spin us back to drones here. What I haven't heard is any talk of any upgrading the nits, any sustained talk of keeping the nits sustained longer. I haven't
Well,
heard
wouldn't
any
that
talk
be
about that. So
cool?
anybody that hopes it's going to have 1,000 nits or 1,200 nits or whatever, I haven't heard any. I'm not saying it's not going to, but I haven't heard any talk about that. And it really wouldn't matter if they had 1,200 nits. If it only lasted for 2-3 minutes, it wouldn't matter anyways, right?
Yeah, and sadly, you know, I've thought about that too, Ron. I thought, you know, why doesn't Apple, you know, they know they got this market. Well, how big of a market is drone flyers that use their phone on?
Yeah.
It's not very big.
The Tim Cook is so microscopic, it doesn't
Right.
even mean anything to him.
It doesn't. It's totally meaningless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing you talked about, Ron, is the Apple Watch, the version 8.
Yeah.
I hear that is going to be severely upgraded.
Well, I've got a little bit more information that was
Pro
the talk
version.
all along, but now they're supposedly going to release a separate line of watches, like a much more expensive line of watches, and that's going to be the one with all the really kind of halo features. The 8 is just going to be a solid upgrade, but and I don't know if they have a name for it, but this new series of luxury watches or whatever is the one's going to have all these killer features we've been
I heard
hearing
it called the
about.
Pro version, is what I heard.
Yeah. Even how about that? We even get a Pro watch now, or whatever.
Right.
I may have to order just the the SE.
Hey, yeah, that's true. The other thing, though, and this, our friend Johnny Drone Flyer would be interested in this. The little mini version of the iPhone, like Johnny has, the rumor is they're discontinuing that.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, they've done that. They've done that in the past and resurrected it. So
yeah, which is possible.
Just like
Ron,
people are hoping for a mini iPad mini upgrade, but they don't upgrade the mini in a yearly basis. So they just did it last year. So there probably won't be a new mini. And and same thing on iPad. I know people are hoping for 1,000 nit iPads and whatever. Haven't heard any talk about that. Not saying it's not going to happen, but there's no rumors out there to that effect.
When we talk about using these for phone, on our remote controls and for an FPV screen, the reason that I always bought the Max, the big one, is for that very reason. But now that we're getting all of these controllers that have a built-in screen, I'm not so worried about it. I think the next iPhone I get is going to be just the standard size.
Really? You think so? Why, Marcus? Why?
Well, because it is, you can't one hand this like you can a regular size one. I kind of can, but
I always buy the standard Pro, just like he said. I can one hand it. It fits in every pocket I have, not only my baggy pants.
I'm actually, believe it or not, I haven't found a pocket yet that I couldn't fit this thing into. However, the biggest thing for me is I'm with one handing it it's important, because often you're doing something with your other hand. If you can one hand something real quick, it makes a difference. And so
it fits in all my pockets, but some pockets when I get and sit in the car or something like that, and
good point.
It's kind of pinching me. I don't know what the word is. I feel too tight there, or whatever. I could get bigger pants, right? But anyhow, I'd like the smaller size. So it might just be some people like that bigger screen just to see more, but some people don't have tablets like the bigger screen.
Hey, Ron.
Anyhow,
Hey, Ron. And then there's the Android guys
with their supersized phones.
Yeah.
They need like a man bag to take them around.
Hey, I am. This phone here is probably about three generations old. All right, yeah, old.
But don't make fun of them. That probably flies a drone for him. Mars doesn't.
I don't know. No. I'm a smart controller guy and RC Pro guy. I gave him
a man of your means, and that's 3 generations old. Wow.
It is old. It is. Phones like used to be really important to me, not anymore. And just the thought of paying $1,800 for that new phone just makes me ill. Like,
what my problem is, DeMarco? Just like with drones, I just love the new tech. I just love it. So I do.
And I'm at the Apple upgrade program, so I never even looked.
Me too.
All I got is how much more money a month do I have to pay for the new phone?
My buddy right here convinced me of the value of that upgrade program. So I did it when I got this one.
Yeah.
So every year you just upgrade it. Yeah.
But listen, like I told you before, I'm a vacuum guy, a robot vacuum guy. So like I just did a whole bunch of research and watched I don't know how many videos. So I just upgraded our robot vacuum.
Oh, I told you that there's a company that wants to send me one for a review.
Well, yeah, I can send this back, Mark. Who's the company though?
Yeah, it was a weird name. It was like Hemorrhoid Vacuums or something.
Oh,
and you haven't reviewed it yet. It may be the worst vacuum cleaner
ever.
Well,
I didn't even tell him to send it yet, but it was like an $800 vacuum.
Yeah, which in vacuum world is like mid-grade.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the Hups. Yeah. It's like a Hubson and
maybe the big boys in vacuums are Roborock, Roomba, and Ecolab. I think those are the big boys. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, listen, off track. We got course a little bit again. Why we brought up the Apple Venom 7 is also rumored that day is the DJI camera, and we're not talking just a regular camera. This is like a what did I
Hasselblad?
Well, yeah, it's Hasselblad, but it's
a medium format camera.
Medium format, yeah.
Which only really photographers use. Like if you were shooting a billboard or some kind of gigantic photo, you'd use a medium format. So I don't know how much of a consumer device this is going to be, a medium format camera, but I guess this is more in their pro line of devices. Like they have that kind of all-in-one camera gimbal or whatever. So I'm saying this camera is going to be probably $5,000 just for the body or higher,
and it's going to fit on those high-end drones, right? On their higher-end drones that there's talk of the new Inspire 3 and so forth. So from that perspective, it makes a lot of sense. It's nothing that I would ever mess with. And Ron, you probably come closer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the camera. It's a standalone camera, so you mount it on a drone. You'd have to have like that Sony AirPeak thing where you could put the the camera on. Does DJI currently have anything like that where you put the whole camera on the drone?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they have? Yeah, I believe that they do.
Yeah, because I know the Inspire will have a built-in camera, and I think the Matrice. I mean, they may be interchangeable, but you're not like. I mean, it's more or less you're changing the lens and not like.
Yeah.
It's not like you're sitting a camera body on a drone like Sony does with the AirPeak.
Well, if we had the chat, they would tell us in the chat, but we don't.
Yeah, Lon would correct.
Type it down low.
Lon would be correct. But
Lon let us know.
That's just something to keep in mind. I mean, I don't think it's going to be something most of us drone guys are going to be interested in an expensive medium format camera. But there it is.
So rumor wise, Ron. So I was talking to Ron earlier, and I mentioned this. So we've heard all these rumors about the Action 3 camera from DJI
releasing in September.
Could this be that people got confused? They just heard about a camera getting released, and it really is the Action 3. It's this medium format
camera. Possibly, but I mean, of course, if they stay on the GoPro type thing, they should release an action camera every year. So the two.
Yeah, but they didn't previously. But
if they really want to get in the game, like they didn't, if you only release an action camera once a blue moon, you're never going to be in the game. So I mean, Sean Oz had the Action 2 at
Spin up.
Spin Up last year, so it came out.
2002.
Well, he had it by then, so I think it came out the end of October. So they are due for a refresh if they're going to refresh it every year.
If they're going to refresh it every year, I agree. And DeMarco, you've got that original DJI action camera, and that's the form factor they're talking about. That's a great camera, and it's still a great camera. And I think
I used it recently.
Well, I think it's competitive with almost any of the GoPros even that are still out now. Now it doesn't shoot in it's 4K top is 4K 60, I believe. But I still think it looks really good. And there's a lot of talk about the Action 2 and the GoPros overheating. That camera doesn't overheat.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of I'm glad we segued into GoPro. The pictures just got released recently, like the publicity pictures for the Hero 11, and it looks like the body style hasn't changed at all. So all your accessories and stuff should still work, but no specs got released. So the specs are still anybody's guess at this price point, but they think it's going to be a mid to late September release. So stay tuned. I'm sure the specs will come out in a week or so.
Yeah, not a lot to say about that, is there really, Ron? Now, what most people can hope for is maybe again a faster processor, right? That makes things work a little smoother. I know you haven't had a lot of problems with it, but I know there's a lot of talk. There has been, if you look at any of the forums, people talking about freeze ups and things like that. So, and I think that's all related to processing speed and so forth. So if it's just an incremental upgrade in that regard, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah. And this is real, I'm giving you real rumors, but they just released a new processor. I think last year was the first year that processor that they're thinking they're going to be more of a lens upgrade on this one. Maybe not the one it's censored, but maybe, a little bit bigger than they have now. So again, I'm not saying I want that, because I think that the video coming out looks great already. Anything to make it run hotter, just keep the way it is.
Well, to your point, Ron, I've become a big fan of the Action 2, but I believe that the video quality out of the Hero 10 and even the Hero 9 for that matter is incrementally better than the Action 2. It's not much, but it's definitely better.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's hardware based. I think GoPro's been at so much. They got some secret sauce in their software someplace that they eat the most performance out of these small camera sensors. And
that's the thing that I've noticed with the Action 2 is as soon as you start losing the light, the quality really falls off. Yeah.
Well, I mean the GoPro does too, but I mean. I don't know about that too, but the GoPro, you just turn off the hyper smooth at that point. But when you do that, then you make it a mountable camera. You can't really walk around with it once you turn the hyper smooth off. I'm sure it's the same way with the Action 2. Once you turn the stabilization off, it's a mounted camera.
Yeah. Well, so Ron, you and I, and I think DeMarco, you were on it too. We had a conversation about, okay, so let's just say for the sake of argument that there is an Action 3 coming out, and it is the same form factor as the original Action, or let's call it the GoPro form factor. I'm willing to bet that DJI would keep both the Action 2 form factor as well as the new style, because there's advantages and disadvantages to both depending on your use case. Yes.
What would you actually price them at though? Because they would be very, very similar in price if I'm guessing. One's not going to be 300 and the other 500. They're going to be 379, 425, in that range.
Yeah, but as you might recall, with the Action 2, I think what the list price
it's really a $500. It's a little over $500 camera.
It was $550, I think.
And now it's what, $339 or?
They've dropped it a lot.
Yeah. And the GoPro, it's always $500, but of course they had that thing. If you sign up for their thingamajig, you get it for like $350.
You get it for $350. Which why wouldn't you do that?
So anyhow, Yeah, it'll be interesting to see these cameras come out, and also rumors of this is real rumor mill here. Insta360 has their like 10th new product coming out this summer, or this fall. That they have something coming out too.
And GoPro is talking about a professional version of GoPro too, right, Ron?
Yeah, they have 3 cameras. We think maybe a professional version, the Hero 11, and an update on their 360 camera.
I just thought of something too that we probably should bring up is Skydio just released another firmware
software.
update.
Yeah.
Did you have that on your list, Ron? I couldn't.
I did not really, because it's not a real rumor product, but it's good to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah. So supposedly it makes it easier to hand launch, and it makes keyframes easier.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it, Ron, and DeMarco, I haven't tried keyframes yet. I need to do it. I need to get that drone out and fly it.
That's that tracking, right? The new tracking system?
No, what it is think of it almost as waypoints.
Okay.
And so I think they're kind of going after like the real estate people. So say you're going to take a picture of a house, and the advantage of the Skydio is that you can get it into places that you couldn't another drone. So you can set up those keyframes and get all those shots that you want, have it do it in an automated fashion and not worry about it.
Keyframes is a term that comes from using editing programs where you set a keyframe, and that means maybe the view or something changes or whatever. So I guess this is so you don't have to edit and post. You're doing all the keyframes ahead of time. This means maybe the drone turns a different way, gets a different angle, gets a different shot or whatever. And like Marcus said, I can see that being really useful in something like real estate or a lot of type like that professional work where a non-professional can kind of tell you exactly what he wants, and you can keyframe it all up ahead of time.
What's becoming very apparent with that Skydio, and I think it's cool that they've kept it as relevant as they have, but it's really what people said from the very beginning. That thing is for action sports. It's almost like the GoPro of drones. It's for people that want to do tracking, and that's what it comes down to.
And now more and more they're trying to also turn into an automated type of.
For the industrial, the commercial uses, that's correct. But I'm talking, just from the recreational perspective, it really is.
For people that just want to fly for fun, and I'm Hawk and Johnny and Ray show fly for fun. It's really not a fly for fun drone.
No.
Right.
No.
Well, we forgot one thing. Also on September docket from DJI, the new Osmo, handheld phone gimbals. Supposedly the Osmo 6 is coming with a built-in LCD screen this time.
I
saw that on Young 360. Yeah.
Young basically doing what we do. She just is saying all at drones deals rumors. That's thing are repeating the drones deals. And
but how much different is that one going to be than this guy?
Well, you got to have that screen, Marcus.
Yeah, it's got a tiny little LCD.
What's it going to tell you?
Screen that you can't even read in the sunlight, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I still have my Osmo 3, I think it was. I just never use it.
Yeah, keep it. It's probably
well. Here's where I use this, and Ron and I kind of agreed on this, DeMarco. Is if you're out, you can do motion lapse with it. It's beautiful for motion lapse. You set it up on a tripod. You set up that motion lapse. It's really cool. But using it just to get stabilized video, I don't, because my iPhone does pretty darn good on its own.
Yeah.
No, I mean that basically what is the Osmo app? What's the app called for that on the phone?
The Mimo app.
But once you hook up the Mimo app, I mean, you have almost all the stuff you could do on like a drone or a, like action camera. It turns your phone into this real smart device or whatever. And the thing is, I should use it more, but it's an extra thing you got to take along. You got to get your phone in there, whatever. It's a little bit of step over.
It's considered photography, is the way you've always described it.
Outside just putting the power button on your action camera,
right? If you're doing tracking too, so if you're setting it up and you want to track somebody or yourself or whatever, boom, it's good for that.
Yeah. Okay, well we've gone on I think almost an hour now here, so we better end this here before the next holiday comes around. Any closing
Is
thoughts?
this Ron Brown? Did Ron?
We're not doing a
Ron
live.
Brown, is that really you,
We're
Ron?
not doing a live show here. We got to keep this. We got to keep this. Tight. This show tight here.
I'm like, I
We
got
got
dinner, baby.
we got to tighten it up here, brothers. So, any closing thoughts from the panel before we go off to our holiday barbecues and playing horseshoes and all the other stuff you do in holidays, the pool, hitting the pool, taking the kids to the pool.
Well, I'll say this: Sunday is our Shell and I's 11th wedding anniversary.
Oh
Yes,
wow! Congratulations.
yes, and
Congratulations, Marco.
this is the fourth year in a row that we won't be together for it. So,
Oh,
yes. So,
oh,
hey,
that's well.
what are you gonna do?
You got plenty of time to make up for that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Look at that man.
What about you guys, Marcus? Like your Sarah's going for the weekend. What are you gonna do?
Well,
Anything you want. That's the answer.
Well, yeah, we're still in the middle of really hot weather. Our temperatures are close to 100 degrees every day.
Oh,
But to your point, I'm going to get out and try and fly some drones if I can, for sure. Yeah,
mhm.
no doubt about it.
Nice, Ron.
Well,
Any?
it's going to be kind of a celebration weekend here. This is the last couple days of the crowd at the Jersey Shore. After Labor Day, they disappear until Memorial Day. So we have our town back again, our beaches back, our stores, our restaurants, or whatever go back to normal again. So this is celebrate that. So you just kind of stick it out in the house this weekend or whatever, and
But I've heard a rumor, Ron, that there might be a Corvette meetup going on.
And I sent you the link to one of the groups on Facebook, so check your Facebook when we get off this show here. One of the biggest Corvette shows on the East Coast is happening on Saturday the 11th. That's not tomorrow; it's next Saturday. And I filmed it last year, and it was a very successful video for me. I say I filmed it. I just set a GoPro up on the boardwalk and let all the cars roll by me. Vets going all the way back to the first vet, and it'd be perfect if a celebrity Corvette judge could roll into town that weekend.
Well, let me ask DeMarco, when does Shelly get back?
She is in Dallas right now on a layover, so about 7:30 tonight she comes.
Oh, okay. So she'll be back. So in other words, next weekend you could meet me and Ron in Atlantic City for this.
Ocean City.
I wish it was that easy. I wish it was. I'm a car guy too. I would love it.
Yeah.
Are you a boardwalk guy, like a nice slice of boardwalk pizza and popcorn and all the goodies for the ice cream?
That is right up my alley.
There's so much food in that boardwalk. You could come back 20 pounds heavier.
Oh well. Come on. Let's roll. Hey, what about Jaws though? I'm not getting in the water. How about that?
Well, you don't have to leave the boardwalk. Right? You don't have to leave the boardwalk. There's nobody ever got attacked by a shark on the boardwalk.
Land shark, Sharknado.
The land sharks from Saturday Night Live from the 70s.
Yeah. Land shark.
You don't think you have to worry about is one of the seagulls taking a what on your fresh haircut.
Hey, listen here. I say it right now, Marcus. Like we need to make a visit out to Mr. Brown.
And here's another thing I warn you: if you're walking around with your slice of pizza in your hand, don't be holding it out here, whatever, because that seagull will come in. He'll steal it right out.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen him do that too.
Yeah, they'll get you. So if you got your food outside, you gotta hold it. You gotta hold it close.
Or even an ice cream.
You gotta hold it like your son holds that football. No. You gotta have a grip. You gotta have a good grip on your food.
That's amazing.
Outside. No, they think that's their food. They think that's their food. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they love fries, and the boardwalk fries are the best.
He didn't pay for that piece of pizza. I'd be grabbing that bird by his wing. Give me that back. Wait.
And you know what he'll say? He'll get mad and he'll send your buddies after your drone.
That's for Coopy and John Flynn.
Yeah. Hey, oh God, I almost forgot. We're almost in an hour here, but
Yes.
I do
We're
have
about
some
to wrap.
I got some
One
Koopy.
last one for Marcus. We're wrapping here.
Yeah, I got some Koopy news. Mr. Koopy got to fly the DJI Avata, and I don't want to steal his thunder, but I'm going to say this. He liked it, and look for a review on his channel.
Guess what? The video is already on Facebook. Go to John's Facebook
good.
page, and he already has a video of him flying. I think he puts it through some gaps. Unbelievable.
Man, my finger's shaking too much. I gotta pinch it.
Yeah.
So,
all right, guys.
I want to thank everybody for popping in. I'm sorry this wasn't a live show tonight. I should have been answering a bunch of questions. Hey, Captain Ray, and I said, hey, I should have been pretending it was a live show, right? But so we will be back on Monday. Let's see that car show. So Monday the 13th, we should be live again,
and we would be making some.
Monday the 12th. Monday the 12th.
And next time we do a show, DeMarco will make his Monday Night Football picks for the first Monday night game of the season. And they usually have two games that night, so the pressure could be on that night.
Crunching numbers.
He's crunching numbers now. I don't know who's playing that night, but it's always a good game on Monday night. And this will be the debut of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck on Monday night.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah.
The big guys are on Monday night now.
He got a raise out here. Hey.
Troy was already making a fortune.
What? More, yeah.
He's
making Marcus money now.
He probably making more money now than when he played, huh?
No. He's making Johnny money.
Yeah. All right, folks. Have a great holiday. Put a burger on the grill for us three or whatever. You put a burger on and we will stop by.
There.